Welcome to the Super Facts Show on the Super Facts Network. Featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network. Today we got with us Kiara Whack. She's got so many accomplishments, but right now she's got her disc recovery and autobiography for edible consumption. How you doing today? What's up?
What's up with you? This is Kiara. I'm doing well. How about you?
Kiara, I'm doing good. Would it be fair to label your book as kind of like a holistic how-to manual combined with stories of how you've overcome negatives to positives?
That's exactly what it is.
So how about we start with your story? Obviously you can't give everything away because we want people to buy the book, but can you give us a brief overview of I find your story to be amazing. Before we even get started, like salute. I myself have transitioned my life from negative to positive, and I know how difficult it can be, even if the journeys are different, you know what I mean? But so yeah, like as much of an overview as you'd like to give, I'd love to hear
it. Well, I was born and raised in Hampton.
Shout out Seven Cities.
Yeah, graduated from Bethel in 2007, went to UVA, graduated, and I actually took more time than the traditional 4 years, because it took a while. It took a lot for me to transition and like really settle into college. I kind of had a sheltered upbringing, so going to a big school like UVA was kind of a culture shock for me, and it took a while for me to like adjust.
So what'd you do? Did you like withdraw? Was you partying too much?
You
withdrew
for like a year and a half at one point.
Well, I my fault. I worded that poorly. Excuse me. That was a poor choice of words. Like when it was a culture shock to you initially, like I'm saying, what was your, did you like party too much, or did you like stay in your room?
Definitely. At first I was like, what is this? And like for the first whole like semester and a half, I stayed in my room to myself.
Gotcha.
Been out there partying or anything because I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
It was bad. And I don't know. Then like I went to Miami for my first spring break of my first year with my cousin, and that was the first time I had a drink. And then after that,
in your life.
Yeah, in my life. I think I was 19 or something.
And after that, it was all she wrote. So you started drinking too much?
I did, yeah. Kind of lost focus.
I too had that struggle greatly. I used to weigh 360 pounds. Do you still have occasional drinks? Or are you totally off the wagon?
Oh, yeah. Occasionally, but not anywhere near what I was doing.
See, I can't drink alcohol because if I start drinking alcohol, then I start wanting to use cocaine. So I'm like what they call California sober. I ain't ever drinking over like 10 years. So like I smoke weed and I'll eat shrooms or something, shit like that. But no chemical drugs.
Right. Chemical.
So anyways, yeah. So you started drinking too much. You withdrew for a year and a half.
Went back. Got involved with some wrong people. Got into some trouble. And basically I kind of fell into like a depression after that. And
but you were studying psychology, correct?
Yeah.
My degree. Did the depression motivate that, or was that just a lucky coincidence, as you would?
It was just a coincidence because that happened from like the aftermath of like the traumatic events that occurred.
So at what point did you like realize that you were depressed? And I assume that, well, I mean, you should never assume, but you know, I mean, you seem damn intelligent. So what, yeah, I'm sure there was a point where you started applying what you were learning to what you were feeling.
Yeah. So I think I'll say like within like a year of that incident happening, I ended up gaining like crazy, like 75, 80 pounds. And like I've always been like cooking and stuff like that, but it really wasn't until I graduated and gained all that weight that I started to tell myself like I need to start cooking healthier if I want to, you know, lose any of this weight that I have gained. Cause I was drinking all the time at that point and eating whatever, just anything to make myself feel good. I had a terrible relationship with food.
So
So
how much knowledge did you have about healthy eating at that point?
not too much. And then so that's when I started to do the research. I'm like, okay, so if I need to be eating healthy, I need to lose weight, so I can't be eating like this. So
Right.
like I need to change the way I'm cooking. So when I started doing that, and I was consistent with it for a while, I started to notice that I was feeling different, you know, like feeling better. And I was just like, you know, that's when I made the connection between food and the brain.
And then you combine your, your autodidactic research on the nutrition with your, your traditional psychological knowledge to come up with
Mhm.
a holistic approach.
Correct.
So obviously, you know, there must be success stories. Like, have you seen this work with other people who've used your methods?
Yes. Yes, I've definitely have a number of clients who have had success with the different um approaches that I have. Like I have meal prep that I do. Um I have
Do you
clients.
still have that blog?
Which one?
The
The one that
the one that was named the Ebony, because you know I had actually seen that a few times before, like when I was going over I don't know if you had a one sheet or a PDF or EDK or whatever, but you know when I was going over your information, I distinctly remember going to that blog a few times.
for real.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. No, I don't have it anymore though. I kind of rebranded and stuff.
So, you know,
Um
not to jump around, but just since we're on the subject, so it's out the way later. I'm curious when you were named the Ebony, because I had a blog and I never had an accomplishment that big, like a publication of that magnitude, name me anything. How much did your views or whatever go up? Did you see a significant increase?
Gosh, that was so long ago. I can't even remember. Um I don't think it was like that significant, but it was a little bit, I guess.
Got you. All right. So, you know, back to the main story. So, you know, you're dealing with anxiety with nutrition, and you make that realization. Since then, have you been able to isolate any individual foods that help more than others, or maybe if not foods, you know, I hate to say diet like a lose weight, but diet as a lifestyle.
Well, I definitely don't recommend dieting per se. Um,
Well, I mean, my diet is what I eat. Like I'm not on a diet. You feel me?
I feel you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you mean like just in general, you don't mean like an actual diet.
Yeah, like if you found like a general way of eating that might be better for people with anxiety, or you know, if for all I know,
Mm-hmm.
it might be orange and purple vegetables. You know, it's all kinds of crazy. I mean, you never know.
I definitely say eat the rainbow. I base my diet around. You ever heard of superfoods?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I base my diet around superfoods, and I kind of teach that like people who are struggling with their diet and who have bad relationships with food, I say like focus more on adding healthier foods to your diet more than thinking about what you can't eat all the time.
Real foods, and
Well,
the closer that they've been produced to your house, the better.
so like superfoods, I feel, and I know for a fact that they help control like your everyday mood. Like if your diet is missing them, you're more than likely to like suffer from anxiety, depression,
Inflammation.
even like your body will feel like, think about it like how there are certain foods that give your body oxygen,
Right.
and then there are certain foods that will take it away and like dehydrate you. So that's why when you eat like living foods that have like that are high in nutrients and minerals, you feel different. It's
Right.
because they're giving you what you actually need versus like just some BS.
Got
That's
you.
like, you know, processed and stuff like that.
You know,
But I basically,
now go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I base my diet is like formed around superfoods. Like whenever I can implement them in any meal that I'm making, I do.
I can dig
And
it.
I keep them all on hand. They're everywhere in the house. So
Yeah, I mean, I eat like free range eggs, sweet potatoes, a bunch of supplements, and that's really basically all I eat. To be honest with you, this shit kind of sucks, but it's hell of effective. You know, I grew up right outside DC in PG County, Maryland, and I grew up eating like soul food and shit. Like, so that was like my typical American diet. So in the typical American diet, well, what do you think is like the most underutilized superfood that could have the most benefits particularly for anxiety?
That's a great question. I think avocados.
Yeah, I should have said that. I eat avocados at least once a week. That's a great one. Yep.
Yeah, I know for myself that when I eat avocados, like the fog in my mind goes away. Like I feel at ease.
So
And it's like people don't notice it because they don't think about it. So the next time you eat an avocado, think about how you feel like 20 minutes later.
So during your down periods, did you notice that when you were eating poor and making bad lifestyle choices, you had like more morning fog and things of that nature?
Absolutely. Like when I mess up, even now, like everything is like affected. Like still to this day. So that it helps me to stay on top of my diet, because I know if I don't, then I'm gonna feel crazy and I'm not gonna get anything done. So
and you know, it's not just food. Do you have any advice on spices? Because I know spices make a big difference, like turmeric and things of that nature.
Yeah, or like herbs and stuff. I definitely cook with herbs every time I cook. I stay away from I don't use a lot of salt in my food. There's a lot of seasonings that I use that already have salt in them. So you don't have to like overcompensate and like double do it with salt too. And then all the sodium isn't really necessary. That's not really what brings the flavor of the food out. Yeah, so herbs all day long, all of them.
Garlic and all that, huh? I can dig it, man. Me too. I'm right there. And then like much like you know, like a lot of my transformation came with fitness. So when did you start incorporating fitness into this?
The fitness came kind of before I started to change my eating. That's kind of what made me tell myself, like, what is the point of you being in here working out if you're still eating like that?
Word.
So the fitness started before. And then once I really got into the food thing, I upgraded the fitness and I started CrossFit. So I've been doing CrossFit for like almost 7 years now.
What's the worst injury you've had?
One time I hurt my back. I think I just like pulled a muscle or something while I was doing a snatch or something like that. But I ended up going to the chiropractor and he fixed it. So it wasn't really an injury. It was just kind of like a pain. But I've never been injured.
I got good. Well, shoot, let me knock on some wood real quick then.
Yeah, I never had any injuries. I've always been good to go.
So before we talk more about your fitness, I don't know if you know, but like on a lot of sports podcasts, fitness stuff in general, there's an argument about whether, and I have no opinion one way or another, if CrossFit pull-ups count as real pull-ups. What do you think?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Well, the counter argument is because since you maintain momentum, they're easier than if you stop and have to regain full control of yourself.
Oh, you do have to stop. We have to go all the way down, like all the way down. For
I
your
mean,
arms are extended.
I'm really just curious about your opinion. Like I said, I don't have
Now,
no opinion one way or another because like they're definitely real pull-ups. They might be a different kind of pull-up. You know
I
what I
was getting
mean?
ready to say that there's different types of pull-ups, like kipping pull-ups, jumping pull-ups, and those are not different. Now, strict pull-ups, like real strict pull-ups, you have to, and they're called that, strict pull-ups, you have to fully extend your body all the way down.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
If you're not doing that, then that's not a strict pull-up.
right. And like, and I was just curious about your opinion because like I find it curious how there's like so much. I'm not gonna say hatred, but competition in the fitness world. Like instead of saying like my way of exercising is better than your way of exercising, I think it's good that somebody's
It's
exercising.
exercising.
And now
Yeah.
that led me something to one of the things I was going to ask you about is what do you think is a good first step for those who might be intimidated about exercise into getting into fitness? No pun intended, because it might be really
Probably
a literal first step.
getting out and doing something, even if it's just by yourself, and getting in the habit of doing something. Because I feel like once your mind and like your body's in the habit of doing something, you're gonna want more of it. So
Right.
eventually that walking is not gonna be enough for you. That jogging around the block isn't gonna be enough. You're gonna want more. So when your body and your brain is already in the habit of doing it, it's gonna be easier for somebody to be like, oh, do you want to go to the gym? Cool, let's go. I need to do something different.
You know, earlier when you were speaking of living things, I'm curious, do you feel a need to get sunlight every day?
Yes.
Like you know, obviously everybody does, but some people seem to not notice the absence of it as much as others. Like myself, if I go a day without sunlight, I perceive it greatly.
Vitamin D is definitely important. I was deficient in vitamin D one time, and my doctor gave me the vitamin D, like such a high dose that I only had to take it once a week. It was so high. But I know that if I'm lacking in vitamin D, because I can tell, it's like I can tell like which superfoods I need to eat.
No,
Like,
I know what you mean
you know what I
when
mean?
you're in the right shape,
Yeah,
if you eat a candy bar, like you'll feel it, like you'll actually feel bad,
yeah,
or drink a snack. I know what you mean. You get way more in tune with your body.
yeah. I'm so in tune with it.
Like you know,
So it's like,
back when I was drinking, I'm sure you might have experienced this. You wake up and you might have something that's a little sore, right? And you might not quite know what that's from. And now, like if I got something sore, I'm like, oh, it's because I did this that way yesterday. Like maybe I did like I don't know, like a row with my arm too far out from my body or something. You know what I mean?
right,
Yeah, but yeah,
absolutely.
like yeah, your program definitely will have somebody in tune with all that. Um, how did it feel, you know, regardless of the views, being named as a Black mental health resource in Ebony magazine? Like you know, like I said, I've never had an achievement of that magnitude in this profession, and I'm just curious, like what the feel like.
Honestly, I'm so like not self-absorbed at all. So when positive stuff like things like that happen, I'm just like, I feel like I don't give myself enough credit.
Because you're too busy with thinking about the next thing. Because I mean,
Yeah,
I know it's rude to ask how old you are, so I'm not. But no matter what age you are, you could be 40. You got an impressive list of accomplishments already. You own a restaurant. Am I allowed to ask what franchise, or is it on purpose that you don't name it in any of your materials?
it's on purpose that I don't name it.
Got you. I kind of figured, but I was
Yeah.
if it wasn't, you know, might have been a good story behind that. And so tell me about traveling time bomb. You know, time like the spice. If anybody wants to Google
As
that.
far as, yeah, a little play on words. Basically it's like me being a traveling chef, traveling nutrition coach, traveling whatever to get the education out about nutrition and how it's so important to your body and your mental health. Basically like time, like exploding with like the knowledge and the wealth of like all of the things that I can teach people how to like improve the quality of life like through their diet.
Be it, you know, your psychological knowledge, fitness, diet. Personally, do you feel like you have the ability to turn your energy levels up and down?
Yes.
And that's through incorporating living things also. So
and reducing the processed stuff and like all the stuff that's gonna end up like blocking like the flow in your body.
I find that fascinating. You know, I find it hard to research. Like that's something kind of like you gotta go more off field, but I believe in it. And and there's so much confliction, and then people try to act like it's mumbo jumbo when it's clearly not. And since you clearly got a good sense of it, what are some other living things that you try to incorporate into your lifestyle that you haven't mentioned yet? For my edification, because like I ain't gonna lie, I'm learning from you.
Yeah. Can you rephrase the question?
Just living things like you know, the water, the food. Like do you like what do you get into things like grounding, like barefoot in the dirt? Like what are some ways I incorporate more living things into my lifestyle?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I like to be outside. I like to exercise outside. If I had a choice, I would always run. I love to run. I like to run in like nature and stuff like that. I'm a city girl, so I'm not too fond of like the country and like putting my feet in like walking in like the dirt roads and stuff like that.
Yeah, me neither.
But I do it at the beach and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Yeah, I mean, they be talking about that, but I don't want to go out I got dogs. I don't want to go out my yard in my bare feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't really too fond of that.
Yeah, I mean, see, like, and see, that's the problem when there's somebody who's got an important message like yourself. Sometimes it gets mixed up in the, I mean, it might not even be crazy stuff, but stuff that we find distasteful, like, you know, walking barefoot in yards that dogs use the bathroom in. You know what I
mean? Right. Yeah.
So after the book, what's next? I mean, obviously you're gonna keep your many. I mean, you got lots of things going, but you know,
yeah. I mean,
what's gonna be your project of focus?
Getting this traveling thing off the ground, like really building my clientele list across the nation, so that I can travel and do this thing. Like, I want to hit more than just my area. Like, I feel like I need to get a bigger platform, and like once I get over like the insecurities that I have, and get out of my own way, which I'm doing now, everything will happen how it's supposed to happen. Like, I feel like I'm about to get.
I feel you. I can do podcasts and stuff, but it'd be hard for me. I don't got no TikTok. I couldn't imagine myself creating no 8-second thing. You know, just to try to get more people to listen to me talk about rap music or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that might be like, you know, some old head shit or whatever. But nah, I feel you. I gotta get out my own way too about some of the things you gotta do to succeed in today's stuff.
Exactly.
But a lot of it seems counterintuitive to the way I was raised. You know. You know, like I don't know, some of these morals, you know, and I'm not talking about like no nudity or nothing, but some things that people put on social media, we was taught to keep to ourselves, like, you know, like family, like family arguments on Facebook, like that shit is unconscionable to me.
All of that relationship stuff, the close relationships that you put in your business out everywhere, and it's just messy. Social media is just like, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
It fucks the living things up.
And I feel like I wouldn't even be so present on social media if it wasn't for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, like I feel like if you use it for a mission, like I use it to try to get my show out there and stuff. But like I don't try to use it to like what they call that shit, like virtue signal or none of that, or show people, you know, like, because like if I'm just gonna put pictures up when I'm happy, that's some fake shit. And I got this show where everything's supposed to be honesty. So I need to be putting pictures up when I'm sad and mad and all that too. So until somebody got like a Facebook or an Instagram or a TikTok that got all they whole range of emotions, ain't nothing honest about that shit. You know, like Chris Rock said, you just meeting the representative.
Mm-hmm. People can get up there and be whoever they want to be. So
they damn sure can. All right, so look, I definitely look forward to having you back on and talking to you about your book in about a week or two. Thank you so much for your time. Where can they find you on socials and everything?
You can find me on Instagram at the Superfood Chef K. I'm on Twitter at Chef K Whack, WHACK. And you can learn more about me and my services and what I offer at www.travelingtime, as in the herb, THYME bomb.com.
And we'll make sure to have all the links in the description on the audio pod. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
You too. You have a good night.
You too.